I really hope you're still there. So good evening, Keith. How are you, Keith?
Hey, g'day guys. Thanks for having us on tonight.
Sorry about keeping you on hold there so long. Wayne got a little bit carried away with results. Now, Keith, you're joining us. Of course, we've seen your very touching story on Facebook page, on the Think 21 page. Mate, just give our listeners a little bit of history that maybe you haven't read that yet.
Yeah, thanks guys. Well, obviously this year I'm doing something a little bit different for myself. I decided at the drop of the hat to throw my ring in for Think and head out there and raise some funds for an amazing charity that's helped us out over the last 2 years, which is the Fight Cancer Foundation.
Now, you say helped you out over the last 2 years. Give us a bit of a background there, Keith.
Yeah, absolutely. So my 5-year-old daughter, Eleanor, was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, B-cell, as commonly called, basically in March 2018. It's one of those things. She started kindergarten, active, vibrant, amazing little girl. She's, the sunshine in everyone's day, biggest smile. And started kindergarten. We got to end of term 1 at school holidays, and we just noticed things weren't right. She was just a little bit lethargic, heading to bed early, not necessarily appetite was there, complaining about joint pains. And one night she went to bed, woke up in a lot of pain, and I sort of noticed something wasn't right. And very quickly, it was all a bit of a blur. And with the space of about 24 hours, we went from having what we thought was, a healthy child to a child that was basically battling for her life, quite unwell, and obviously very quickly into a children's hospital, and as a family in for the fight of our life.
Yep.
Can't even imagine.
Amazing, mate. Now, so tell us how's everything going along now?
Yeah, everything's great. Ella's currently in remission. We've got about 3 weeks left of our treatment plan. So the treatment plan, especially in the early stages for the first 9 months, is brutal on a child. It really is quite brutal in regards to what they go through. But we know it's life-saving treatment, and the doctors, the nurses, all the support teams are amazing with educating the children, educating the parents on why and what's going on. So she's currently in remission, which is fantastic. She's back to school full time. This term, actually, we hit a milestone. It's the longest consecutive weeks we've had at school since she was 5, now going on to 8 this year. We had term 1, just got over school holidays, and big milestone, back to school today. So she's going really, really well. Basically, sorry?
You're right, now keep going, sorry.
Yeah, so basically she's also now become a young ambassador for Fight Cancer Association for Footy Colours Day. And obviously the reason I'm raising Think is to raise awareness for childhood cancer. It is definitely a form of cancer that doesn't probably get the profile that you normally see with the normal cancers out there, but also to raise funds for Fight Cancer. They've been amazing with supporting Ella through the education program that she took part in at Sydney Kids, called a Back on Track program. And that's been really instrumental, not just with her recovery, but her integration back into school, keeping her with her peers, and supporting her with her education. Kindergarten, first year, it's an instrumental year for many young children. They're just learning to read. They're learning to add. And, having nearly, a year and a half to 2 years out from the school environment, the charity being Fight Cancer has been amazing with their support services. The teachers are just lovely. And incredibly dedicated. Ella had 2 lovely teachers, Trisha and Jan, that would come bedside when we're in hospital, make a break in the day. Cancer treatment for a child is really unfamiliar. It's quite scary. And we found the education program something that was normal. It was something that allowed her to express herself, learn, and just have that distraction from the day-to-day treatment that a child goes through.
Absolutely. Now, as you say, you're doing the Think Desert Race this year, mate. Motorbike riding background for yourself?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. Look, no. This is the crazy thing in it all. I had a Pee Wee 50 as a child. Basically, I bought a motorbike a few years ago just for trail riding. I've always I've been into, cars and bikes, and, I've done adventure racing and different things. And for me, motorsports is relatively new. So it's been a huge learning curve. So heading out there blind, been training quite hard. Obviously, MX tracks over the last couple of weeks being Sydney based. And then when I can, obviously trying to get out to some of those sand tracks, just getting used to that sand riding. When we were in hospital, Ella somehow found out that I had a motorbike as a kid, and basically that's what she wanted for her end of treatment plan. So for me, it was like, you know what? Well, she's got her little TT50 now, and I thought, well, what can I do to give that inspiration back to her? And I thought, what's the wildest thing I can do on a bike? Well, Fink is it.
Nothing like throwing yourself in the deep end, buddy.
Mate, I'm taking every whoop as it comes, so to speak.
Well, just to read off your post there, that's where we obviously saw you. Think to me is a journey that will show my little girl I can push through the pain and take each step, but in Fink's case, each whoop, one at a time to get to the finish. So it's pretty gutsy.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, I wanted to do something for the sponsors. You know, I've had amazing responses from all over the world where, you know, we've had people donating personally. We just started that campaign. I've had a lot of contact from people. So I'm aiming for 20,000. 20,000 goes a long way in supporting these kids in hospital. You know, basic resources, pens, paper, you know, things that the teachers can obviously use, and also keeping the teachers employed. And COVID's been incredibly challenging for a lot of charities, as we're probably all aware, and especially the charities that don't necessarily get that high profile imaging. And, you know, when we look at, you know, childhood cancer, 900 kids or thereabouts are diagnosed with cancer each year. It's a very small percentage in the big picture of cancer. So a lot of the charities that do support childhood cancer treatment just haven't really got the funds this year. So 20,000, it keeps a support teacher in a hospital, provides the resources that they need to really, like I said, give a child a smile, give them that opportunity to learn, and also take the distractions away from their treatment.
Absolutely, and I cannot even imagine how difficult watching family members go through this process, and, you know, they're at least adults, they've got something to occupy themselves and whatnot. So, like, as you say, that's a way, at the very minimum, to break up the day.
That's right. That's right.
So, how are we going to try and raise this 20 grand, which you wouldn't be aware, but Alice Springs is the most amazing place in Australia.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely.
Dig deep. They absolutely dig deep. We've, you know, the gentleman sitting across the test property here, you know, but when the first bushfires were on, it's one of our favourite ones. Within 24 hours, we organised the show and shine that raised $45,000. So,
yeah.
Let's do this. How are we going to get this money?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically what I've got is a MyCore page, and if you just go to MyCores and search Fink Desert Race for Fight Cancer, you'll see my page will pop up. Really, I sort of started it based on, you know, I sort of said to people, you know, $500 gets your logo on the bike, $1,000 gets it on a jersey. And, you know, with the amount of messages I've had over the last couple of weeks, I'm going to need a bigger bike and a bigger jersey. That's right. And, Alice Springs mobile car dealing detail is a perfect example. They reached out to me via Facebook and said, look, we'll auction off a $550 voucher and, you know, donate the cause. So, you know, absolutely. And that just shows that the spirit there in Alice, and they're willing to get behind a good cause.
I see another one of ours, Brenda Greening, she's another one. She does a lot with variety as well too, but I see that she put her hand up to do something as well too. So
that's right.
That's just the start of it.
Yep.
We'll share the link on our Motormouth page as well too. But
thanks, guys.
Any businesses, any corporate sponsors out there, we want to get the big bucks as well as the little bucks as well.
Yeah, $10. You know, I've had you know families just say, hey, is $10 okay? Every dollar counts. Every dollar goes a long way. I do want to very quickly just shout out to Remote Safety Solutions, GME Radio, the Catalyst Capital Group, Australian Turf Analysts, and Rotodyne as well. They're the 4 or 5 jersey sponsors that I've had on at the moment. We're trying to sign out, you know, get as much signage together for Fink as possible. And I've had companies that said, well, you know, I'll give you goggles, I'll give you jerseys. You know, we were even sort of talking to a bike manufacturer at the moment. I said, no, I'm not interested in that. All I want is the money, and I just want that money to go to straight Fight Cancer. I don't want to get anything out of it. It's just pure funds for Fight Cancer.
And you're bringing your beautiful family out with you, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be flying out. I'm doing the long drive out with all the gear, and they'll be flying out to Alice, and we're really making it a family trip, especially with Ella just finishing her treatment plan in 3 weeks. It'll be sort of the big first trip out of Sydney. Being on treatment plan, we really haven't been able to do too much. We had to stay within close proximity to a hospital for the last 2 years. So she's excited to get out, and she's been out to that part of the world before, and excited just to get out and experience life and get back to being a kid, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, I do love Eleanor Warrior Princess.
That's correct, yeah. So she's...
How good's that?
Yeah, so she's got an amazing little Instagram, so Eleanor_Warrior_Princess, and her journey and really her progression from a treatment now into remission, and then, remission back into normal life.
Good stuff, mate.
Excellent.
All right, well, hopefully we can catch up to you when you do get here, buddy, and we can get to that 20 grand plus. I know we've had a special guest that's doing a very similar thing. Her goal was 5 grand. I think we're now at somewhere around 12 or 13.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing, guys. Thank you.
For mental health. So, 2 great causes for the Tats Pink Desert Race for 2021 that we're proud to be part of. So, good luck, buddy, and hopefully we can catch up again before the race.
Please do, that'll be great. Thank you for your time, guys, and thanks to your listeners.
Thanks, Keith.
See you,
Bye.
mate.